Recorded live at Carolla One Studios with Adam Carolla and board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist, Dr. Drew Pinsky. You're listening to The Adam and Dr. Drew Show.
Yeah, get it on, got to get on the show, get on Monday, get on Dr. Drew's board for physician, specialist.
Wow.
All right, Drew.
You almost said it there. It's crazy.
Hot off the presses, all the Tylenol talk.
Yes, Tylenol. Tylenol and autism. So what did you understand? What did you take away from that? Because I have my own sort of take on it.
I listened to both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's always funny that the left just will dive in. You know, if Trump said, "Listen, we've linked stream water to autism," they'd go, "You did. It's got nothing to do, or you got to drink more stream water."
Right.
You know, nobody's gonna. It's like it's weird what they fight. They fight everything. Everything. All right. But I learned that. I mean, that was the ivermectin thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone should have just went, I don't know, talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
I'm not a pharmacist. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it works for some people, not with others.
Yes.
But no, it's horse paste, Joe Rogan and stuff. That's when I realized, okay, you guys are nuts. And by the way, here's what you did to your brand. When Rolling Stone comes out with their hot take on Tylenol and autism, guess who's not listening?
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
Because you guys lie about everything and you never stopped.
Yes.
So, my thing in general is putting extra things in your bodies probably should be prevented.
Correct. Especially when there's a very delicate system growing inside.
Right.
Where the chromatin is open, that it can be errors in the replication process.
Also, it makes sense to me that if we had, 12 vaccinations 30 years ago, now we have 87, that maybe this has become a cottage industry. Mm-hmm. Also, I am willing to have my mind open between pharmaceutical companies and profit and not putting the American citizen first.
Yes.
As I told you 200 billion years ago, Drew, physician.
What did you tell me? Where I was wrong again.
Oh, you remember this.
Okay.
This
Memba berries?
This is 25 plus years ago. You were talking about patients of yours that had opioid addiction, and you would tell me some of them took 80 hydrocortisones or whatever. Vicodin, 80 a day.
Yes. That's a fact.
This is over 25 years ago. And then I said, well, that sounds like pretty good business for the pharmacy and for the pharmaceutical companies. And you said, oh, no. And I said, well, why not? You sell this product and there's people eating 8. By the way, I'm not going to make you rich consuming this product because I average 3 of those painkillers every 4 years.
Listen,
I mean, you get dental surgery or whatever.
Right.
You get a prescription. By the way, I have vices. That's not one of them. But I'm saying that company that makes that would go out of business if I were their customer.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I said to you at the time, look, whether you're selling hot dogs, if everyone goes vegan, you ain't making money. You hope there's people eating 80 hot dogs a day and you make money. And then you said, no, they would never do that. They would never think that way. And I said, why not? I don't get it. That's their business. They're moving more product. And then later on, they got accused of all this stuff they got accused of. So okay, so hold on. Let me finish. If you want me to think that pharmaceutical companies can't do things that are somewhere between disreputable and evil I just went through it with COVID.
Yes.
So
and with the opioids.
And the opioids. So I'm not buying that premise.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't mean they can't provide something and make a profit and everyone benefits from it. That's on the table. But this sounds like we're going down that road with all the vaccinations, number one. Then when it comes to Tylenol, yes, these guys, also the autism thing, when it goes from, 1 in every 5,000 to 1 in 26 or something, yes, it's a good time to examine what that is. Now, also, I also don't buy into this whole spectrum BS because we opened up the door and the definition of everything, and now everyone's on the spectrum of everything all the time, and we convinced all the kids they're on. I talked to my son about this when he was in high school. He told me almost every kid he knows says they're on the spectrum of something.
Sheesh.
And I said, we ruined them.
Yeah.
We made them believe that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people are actually autistic versus 25 years ago.
So you're saying that issue of we're identifying it more frequently has a significant impact on the data.
It has to.
Okay.
And that's what we're doing. Look.
So that's one issue.
Well, let's do this one. Let's go to your favorite subject. Rape. Okay. 1 in 1,000 women was raped in 1962. Now it's 2 out of 3 women have been raped in 2025. How's that possible? Well, we changed the definition.
You have to share the violent crime.
No, I'm not going to do that joke. But all right, maybe later. But what I'm saying is your boyfriend drunk rolling over on top of you in the middle of the night, that is now rape. It didn't used to be counted as rape, right?
Yes.
So thus we have many more victims.
Yes.
So if you're going to start getting creative with the counting, then I'm not sure what that's going to do with the data versus, you know what I mean? Like what I'm saying is 25 years ago, 1 in 500 women was raped. Now it's 2 out of 5. Okay. Does anyone say we have a rape epidemic? And the answer is no, because we all know they changed the accounting.
They were sort of saying that kind of stuff in the, 15 years ago.
Right, but we don't really look at it that way. We went, oh, they changed the definition of what this is.
It's how they squash young men. It's how they...
Right. So how is it really that percentage of people that are autistic, or is it just the folks that are on the spectrum?
So that's an issue, is that it is being identified more frequently. But most of it is in younger population, and you would expect it to be across the lifespan if indeed it was just an identification issue. Okay.
All right. So the MAHA movement says, Tylenol, and then MSNBC jumps out and says there's another study. I tend to believe the MAHA guys. I listened to them all through COVID. They were right about everything. They got tons of studies. They crunched tons of stuff. And
it was mostly based on meta-analysis, which are not the most reliable medical studies. But they said there's a signal. Why not avoid the Tylenol? Okay. Which I have been in the position forever. Pregnant women should take nothing. Like you said at the beginning, they should take nothing, period. That's end of story.
No, I said everyone should take nothing.
Everyone's not a bad idea, but especially pregnant women. But here's the absolute irony. There's only one medication the American College of Physicians allows during pregnancy.
Let me write this down.
Yeah.
Go, Drew.
Hydroxychloroquine.
What?
The one medication that the American College of Physicians says
my pharmacist won't prescribe it.
Yeah, I know.
Hydroxychloroquine.
It's so inert and so benign.
But Anderson Cooper's told me, what?
It's crazy. I still think it's a bad idea, by the way. Anything during pregnancy is a bad idea, but that's the
one
that is recommended to continue during pregnancy.
No, Drew.
So what I actually appreciated was you have to watch that press conference rather carefully, because Trump got up there and said, look, these guys are saying they're seeing a signal. They're talking like scientists. They can't say don't take the Tylenol. He goes, I can say it. Don't take it. I'm using common sense. Don't take it. There's a signal. Why would you take it? And then people jumped into, well, what about inflammation? Acetaminophen is not an anti-inflammatory. It is not. And I can think of 0 conditions. I may be crazy high fevers, but even when there's a number of ways to lower the temperature, but then you take the risk reward into analysis, and then you might use the acetaminophen.
When do you need Tylenol?
I don't think and when the fever's over 105.
So
you might want to do it then.
It's really to break an extremely high fever.
Yes.
It's not going to.
There's a bunch of other stuff you can do.
You don't need it for 101?
No.
Why not?
Because it might have a risk with autism. You could use it for 101 if you're not pregnant, but you don't need it.
Yeah, look,
I mean, technically it's over 103 for children. I'm thinking you're worried about the fetus over 104. Yes, there are certain temperatures where and again, it's not an anti-inflammatory. So it's not about the inflammation. It's about the fever itself and the effect on the fetus. There might be worth the risk in that situation.
Well, it's such a weird thing with
and let doctors do their
pregnancy-
job again. Use common sense. Let doctors do their job.
I mean,
let them decide
women,
when.
they're not allowed to eat sushi when they're pregnant.
Correct.
Because there's some risk of
That's right.
something.
That's
They're
right.
not allowed to drink. I mean, there's just everything. So why not just add this to the everything list?
Exactly. And by the way, there's some with all the things on that everything list. If somebody's really sick with something, you're going to risk using that everything list to save the pregnancy and the mom.
I can also tell you from firsthand information and experience as a uninsured, unmotivated, broke person, you can gut out almost anything. Like the high fevers
I mean,
and the
103,
pain and the
104,
whatever.
you can get brain damage from that, and you want to be careful. You
Not
get seizures.
this hombre.
But the point is that I think I said 106. That was wrong. That was
I'm
wrong.
not saying cardiac arrest. I'm saying the stuff you run to the pharmacy for.
That was my point.
You can ride this stuff
that was my
out.
point,
I've
is that
ridden out so many
healthy person,
things.
yes,
You
yes.
just suck it up. I mean, you ride it out.
But they're not saying don't use Tylenol for your 18-year-old male. They're not saying that. They're saying if you're a pregnant woman, common sense,
All
avoid
right.
it if you
So
can.
why the spike in autism?
They're looking into it. I was reading I'm surprised how much their data there is linking. Here's one of the things I'm surprised by. I was just sort of casually looking through some of the data, and some of the animal models really link vaccines to brain issues. I was shocked at how many of those models were out there.
Okay, how much? I mean,
But let me just say, but by the same token, I'm also surprised in population studies how little of it we see associated with vaccine. So I'm not sure what to make of it.
You don't want the hepatitis B vax, right?
Let's make your comment first. That's a bigger conversation. Let's get into it.
Okay, my comment is the fewer things you can put into your body, the better.
Yes.
And we, antibiotics were God's gift breakthrough several years ago, and now we're seeing that people who had too many antibiotics. Look, you want to know the healthiest people on the planet? Amish people. Yeah. You want to know the second healthiest people? People that have an outdoor dog that comes in and sleeps on their bed at night. Like the sort of sunshine and hard work and exposure and all that kind of the less stuff you can put into your body, the better it's going to be overall, big picture. Sorry, and the vaccine schedule of 81 or whatever the hell it is, it sounds like to me exactly what it is, way too much. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the schedule is with the Amish kids, but I'm going to go 0.
And there are some real questions about the safety of the hepatitis B vaccine. I was around the research. My residency director was very involved with it. And we were developing hepatitis B vaccines for mother-to-fetus transmission during delivery in China, in the Asian region, where they still have a problem, okay? They have an issue where it's not being fully identified the way it should be, chronic hepatitis B, and they have a certain amount of exposure that needs to be limited. They need to take the hepatitis B vaccine. Day 1, if you have chronic B, is when you give it. So I looked around the literature recently trying to figure out how many people with chronic hepatitis B in the United States don't know they have it, okay? If you don't know you have chronic hepatitis B and you have chronic hepatitis B, that is our problem. That's the medical problem. We should be identifying that well before delivery in 100% of cases. And I couldn't get any meaningful data of people who were delivering babies that had hepatitis B that didn't know they had it, okay? Mm-hmm. And essentially all of them were either IV drug users or from endemic regions, China, certain parts of Asia. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's nobody else that has it. And you should be testing everybody that comes in from those regions or has a drug history. They should all be tested. It's a simple blood test, no big deal. We do it routinely. So if we're not identifying people with hepatitis B for whom their baby needs the vaccine, that's a medical problem. It's a malpractice problem.
It makes sense.
And I saw a doctor say, "Oh, we're going to see a spike in liver cancer now. That's what's going to happen." It's like, because we didn't give everybody hepatitis B on day 1? No, that's ridiculous.
It's also when you hear the studies and the reports and the behind the scenes and the stuff they get, FOIA stuff and everything like that, like the you can hear when the pharmaceutical companies are talking and they're like, well, we're going to have trouble raising money with this whole MAHA thing because people are not going to want to invest because they're cutting back on the vaccine schedules and stuff. They're a company. They're not a company that sells cured meats. They do billions and billions of dollars worldwide worth of stuff. Yes, they're going to fight for their company. Yeah. And it makes sense. The vaccine schedule to me to sort of give everyone everything before 6 months of age doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
Spread it out makes sense. Yep. Doing too many of them doesn't. It all. And you're talking to a guy who just. The only thing Drew ever said that was smart was no free lunches in nature.
Yes.
Just you are messing with nature, and there will be downstream sort of unintended consequences, side things when you get involved with stuff. And that's, we're the 13-year-old is transitioning. Put them on blocking agents for their, you don't think there's going to be some issues down the road on hormone blocking agents or whatever. You don't think when you get in and you start messing around with the human body that there's not something down the road. Now, look, there are things that need to be done. You need to have your wisdom tooth pulled because it's impacted. All right, go take it out. You know what I mean? Best case scenario, you never touch anything. Right. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Look, you all spill your guts to a lot of people that may not be professionals. Why not see a professional? They know what they're doing. Therapeutic practices work. Guess what? It can be better if you actually go someone who's trained, licensed, and I just don't understand people's resistance to it, particularly these days when you have things like BetterHelp. You don't have to sit in a waiting room. There's no embarrassment. It's all you can do it right now on your computer. And of course, seeing trained, licensed individuals. BetterHelp has been doing this for over 10 years. They've matched over 5 million people worldwide. And with BetterHelp, you just jump online, fill out a short questionnaire, and they match you with the right therapist. Flexible, convenient. As I said, you can do it from not just your couch. You can do it from wherever you are right now. Zoom Therapeutics, this sort of, essentially it's telehealth. It works. It's a good thing. So stop treating your buddy as your therapist. I mean, yes, friends are important. Don't get me wrong. But if you need to talk to somebody who actually knows how to help. Right, Daphne?
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/AdamandDrew. That's betterhelp.com/AdamandDrew.
All right, so we have Trump in the press conference. So Andrew says, my take on this is, I will not call this a breakthrough, but what I will do is I will say, why are you arguing with people who are just saying you don't need this? Let's not do it.
It's so weird.
Right. And that's just arguing. A lot of that's sort of chick think stuff. You know, I'm the one that just says it's no different than vaccines for young, I should say the COVID vaccine for the young, healthy male. They're going, well, what about? And I'm like, it's unnecessary, so let's not do it. And then they go, it's perfectly safe. And I go, maybe it is. There's plenty of things that are perfectly safe. You know, I could get my son a colonoscopy next weekend. It's perfectly safe. Okay, it's safe. It's unnecessary.
By the way, it perfectly safe is there's no such thing in medicine.
Yeah, because you're going to put him under.
I did that for a friend of mine. She's a 38-year-old female. I said, go do it. No big deal. They perforated her colon. She ended up with a colostomy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That. Well, yeah, but the chances of that.
Low.
Yeah, I know, but my son's 19. He doesn't need a colonoscopy.
Exactly. Same thing with the vaccine.
He doesn't need this fucking vaccine.
The vaccine, there's a 0 probability of him being hospitalized with COVID as a young, healthy male. There's a non-zero probability of him getting myocarditis from the vaccine.
Right.
So that's it. Boom, done. Don't get it.
Yeah, but take that math and bring it over to Tylenol. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Same thing.
All right, let's listen to Trump.
The research, a lot of what they've been speaking about comes from right here, by research done by these people. And I just say it again, don't take Tylenol. Don't take it. And don't give it to your child after your child is born. and do all those other things, little things, just spread out your visits, et cetera, on the vaccine. And I want to thank everybody. This is a very important day. Thank you very much.
All right, the volume's a little low. But look, there's another thing, too, I argue with people about all the time. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Where was Joe Biden? Joe Biden was eating a scoop of ice cream on the beach his entire presidency. Now, look, you may disagree with whatever Trump said or says. I feel like he's out there trying to do something,
trying to lead,
though.
yeah.
He's
trying to help people, yeah.
Yeah, he's not autistic, but he'd like your kid not to be born that way. So whatever, try it.
Let's circle back to the painkiller thing, can we? You willing to do that?
Yeah.
Because it's really kind of complicated. You made a point which is valid, which is that the drug companies are going to make most of their money from people that use a lot of their product, right?
Yeah.
Turns out alcohol companies make a lot of their money from alcoholics. That's just the case. So that's given.
Yeah.
I was talking about a particular product called Vicodin at the time, which at the time was available as a generic, okay? And what I was talking about was that people got over 80 tablets a day, which happened not infrequently, would get deafness. And if you remember, that happened to Rush Limbaugh. He got deafness from excessive use of Vicodin.
Oh, is that what caused that?
Yeah. And it was a thing I was seeing a bit of, and it was nasty. What you were talking about with so the Vicodin was not even manufactured by the drug companies any longer. It was a generic, so it's pennies a pill. Not that was made in India. Okay, OxyContin was what you were talking about, and that was an expensive pill, and that was being overused, and that was popular. But it wasn't. What people missed on that was that the drug companies were not the cause of that. The doctors were. The pain management world created the problem. And of course, the drug companies blew wind into the sails of those doctors, but it was created by us. A lot of the stuff that is being created, the COVID stuff, created by us. A lot of it is created by the medical providers. And really, you need to be careful whenever there are remember me talking about this? Evangelical physicians like Deborah Birx, like the pain management world in the 90s, watch out. They do harm.
Oh, I agree. Listen, sadly, the COVID thing, between all the doctors and, I mean, Andrew, that clip, some of this stuff has to be revisited just to have your mind melt. You know, that MSNBC clip with the two black women under the pretense of hair relaxer.
Oh yeah,
hair relaxers causing cancer with black women. Where it's a 6.5 minute segment.
Yeah,
and the title of it, does hair relaxer linked to cancer with black women who use the product?
Yeah,
right. And they have paraffins or something in it. I can't remember what it is. But the whole point is this: the whole thing is bizarre because the woman who's anchoring that story has a natural. Her hair is just as it was, Cleopatra Jones style, The doctor who's explaining how dangerous this is clearly dips her head in a bucket of hair relaxer every day before she leaves for work.
Oh my God.
So already it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like DJ Qualls is going to talk to Arnold Schwarzenegger about the dangers of steroids, and then Schwarzenegger's going to explain there's a danger in steroids, but he's clearly juicing. You know, so it was like a weird combo to get out of the gate. Then, after dedicating less than half the segment to hair relaxing, they just kind of seamlessly get into why you need to have your infant vaccinated for COVID, which wasn't part of the heading on the thing.
Not
said,
at all.
does this cause cancer? We're not getting it. Then proceeds to spend more time talking about vaccinations.
In a very bizarre way, as I recall.
And then this woman does an insane long soliloquy about how safe and how important it is to get your infants vaccinated.
Didn't she say something about all the babies dying from COVID or some craziness?
It was all bullshit. It was all wrong. And then you're like, is this CDC and the drug companies and whomever and CNN, is it all just one big cabal? And I guess
it was
the
one
answer
giant
sort of yes.
hysteria. It was an hysteria. It was a mass formation.
But hold on. It was a hysteria where certain people profited greatly.
And certain people who like to, tell other people how to live consolidated their power and their ability to do that.
Right. And then at some point, JAMA and New England Journal of Health and all these people, they all got weird and corrupted and woke. And
that was shocking to me.
And so did all the psychological, publications and stuff. Like, oh, man, assigned at birth is a woman. Like, oh, my God, you're all gone, too.
Well, it's two things. One is you got to listen very carefully to RFK Jr. He said something the other day that really surprised me. He goes, you know what? I don't think we're going to fund research that's published in Lancet, New England Journal, and I forget his third journal. We're just not going to allow them to be published there. And NIH publishes most of the, not just publish, they fund most of the important research in this country at some point. And they're saying we're not going to allow that to be published in the major journals. That was a big deal. But the other thing is, when you talk about, I was standing in Washington, D.C. airport in Dulles when you went, oh, my God, they've got everybody. Remember that? And I was like, that was the funniest thing. Tell, and you're just tilting at that again. Say it again more completely. That everybody got into the hysteria. Everybody.
Yeah.
You got the church involved. Everybody was in it.
I'll show you this clip. Now, it's about the halfway point where they start talking about just the visual of the woman with Cleopatra Jones's hair and then the other one with Jennifer Aniston's hair. And the one with Jennifer Aniston's hair is talking about how dangerous hair relaxer is to women of color.
Wow.
So we're already off to a weird and surreal start.
Yeah.
Are we not?
Yeah.
All right. Probably about the middle.
This is it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, this is it. Yeah. But it's the middle. Sorry. Go ahead.
Keep further out.
Well, the middle's the middle.
Yeah.
You're not at the middle.
Yeah.
I'm saying the middle. Okay.
There's what
when I say the middle, I mean the middle.
We die at younger ages.
One of the things I've talked about on the show is that my dad is a biologist, but specifically, he was a tumor oncologist. So I like to shorthand it. My dad was looking for the cure for cancer, everybody. That was what his job was for over 25 years. So I just know from him that there are so many different chemicals and so many things, like you said, food and cosmetics that can cause cancer. But what are we talking about here? How do we check the product?
By the way, she's fighting back on Maha today.
Before we
I'm sure she
know
is.
what chemicals we should avoid. What ingredients should we be looking for?
Right. So basically, if you cannot name an ingredient, look it up to see what it is. There are plenty of apps that you can literally scan the zip or the barcode to tell you whether or not this chemicals that make up this product have been deemed safe and or more risky for you. And it needs to be pushed not only on the consumer to do background.
She doesn't know what she's saying.
Yeah.
We need to have policies in place of where we say that these things should not be allowed within products that are
hold on,
human consumption.
Andrew, I'm going to stop you for a second. We didn't pull this off our computer?
Yes, I did.
We did.
It was I remember in the last quarter.
No, it's all right. Well, go forward a little more. No, it was more time. I did a timestamp on it.
Okay.
So this may be the first part.
Yeah.
Sorry, just go from there. Yeah. No, don't go from where you were. Just go ahead. I don't know.
But
go almost to the end.
But the comedy, though, is both these women will now be saying Maha's down the line, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny.
That's the funny part. Go ahead, Paul.
Particularly if you're already high risk because of either your family history or because of the demographic by which you belong to.
All right. So somebody. All right. So this thing's got to be like 3 minutes and 30 seconds
Somebody
or
cut
something
off the
like
first
that.
part, yeah.
No. Drew, do not. Let's
sorry.
not get the poor boy confused.
All right.
Is this thing 3 minutes and 33 seconds or something? Some version of that. The poor boy.
3 minutes and 29 seconds. Correct.
Okay. I was way off, wasn't I?
Yeah,
Okay. We took it and broke it into two parts. This is the first part. This is the hair relaxer part. Yeah. The second part is these same two women for 4 minutes talking about vaccines for kids. Now,
got it. Let me grab that. Let me find that.
We whacked it into two parts. I don't know how, and again, we label things in an insane way, so it's not always easy to find. But we took this 7-minute thing and whacked it into two chunks. But you're right. These two right now are railing against Maha.
Isn't that funny?
Well, I have a lot of conversations with women, probably especially, where I go, who cares? Just let him try. Let him help.
Yes,
He was trying to help. I don't fuck that guy. I don't trust that guy. It's like, just leave him alone. Just let him do it. Just don't get... It's an interesting thing. I feel like I have a lot of conversation where I go, just leave it alone. Just don't get involved. Just don't get involved.
Well, think about
just
this.
leave it alone. And they go, I'm getting involved. And it's weird.
Well, let's decipher this a little bit. So let's just take the Maha announcement. They're making advising. They're suggesting, and you're saying, "Hey, let them keep suggesting. Let them keep going." When Newsom says you can't eat outside, they're like, "Well, listen to the governor. Listen to him."
Right.
How can you maintain the same? How do you have both thoughts?
Right.
I can't do it.
Agreed. All right, Andrew. Maybe for the next show. Did you find it?
No, I'm looking for it right now.
Well, it's weird. Like, so what do you punch in when you look for it? How'd you find the first half? Let's see.
So I searched I backed up our entire old search computer onto a hard drive because we had to switch computers because that computer was dying. So I searched MSNBC hair relaxer, and now I'm looking for MSNBC vaccine supercut.
Vaccine, child. COVID vax, children, MSNBC. But the hair will be involved, might be in a long form one as well. Anyway.
Correct.
We'll look for that.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, we'll get it for the next show. You can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. What do you got, Drew?
Doctor.com. Follow me on Twitter at DRDREW, Dr. Drew, and look for our show 2 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Pacific time. Some really interesting guests coming up.
So, till next time, Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying...